So I guess that's kind of where my question was going, that those estimates that aren't falling in line exactly, could they be, more exactly stated in the financials prior to the January 15th, transfer the funds from that to the general?
And that's what Ms. Thomas and I are going to work on when we discuss this. I get the number directly from the comptroller's office. And so they're the same department that we send over the encumbrances for.
Okay.
And so they give me that number that's highlighted, and I gave Ms. Thomas those reports.
Okay, so that comes from...
That comes from them, but we want to determine how more closely we can get on the amount encumbered so we're not off on what is next revision to the general fund in the next coming year. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess my point was I was hoping it could be done within the 3.5 months so that there wouldn't be any,
discrepancies.
appearances of.
Right, and that's what we're going to work on
So
ourselves.
I guess my confusion is the comptroller's office. I mean, I'm assuming they receive invoices, they key the invoices in with a due date of October or November, and I just assume that those numbers will be easily attainable as opposed to inconsistent, I guess is where I'm going.
Well,
but I'm not aware of the process, so.
Okay. And I did tell Mr. Warren that we would show him exactly where we came up with this and how we followed it through.
I trust your numbers.
Yeah, through the financial statements that we do pull from STARS, from the comptroller's office. And the amounts that they say that they're going to encumber, they make that determination and they have to let the comptroller's office know in some capacity what they're going to have to encumber or have for accounts payable. And then what they pay in the 13th accounting period is either right or wrong.
Yeah.
And we just like for it to be closer than $20,000 off, especially when it's something that's coming forward.
Yeah.
And then for transferring the money, the amount that was transferred, the $9,000 amount, was actually like the same amount from 2 years before. And so it just seemed somebody maybe made it just an error.
Yeah.
And it's just not the right amount based on what the financial statements show.
So please understand that I trust your numbers fully. My question was not about your numbers. It was a question about the process of. It seems like to me that's easy to get the exact number. I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult to get the exact number by the 13th month.
I agree.
Yeah. So I don't know the process, but those numbers come from the state's comptroller's office, who is handling, I'm sure, a lot of things. But it just doesn't look good.
It looks bad.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that it is the exact amount.
Yeah.
And so the three of us, between Ms. Thomas, the comptroller's office, and our accounting department with myself, will be coming up with that exact number.
Yeah.
And see where the discrepancies are, because it should not be this hard. You should subtract 100,000. That number is transferred to the general fund.
Well, it's that plus just the estimates of the monthly expenses that were accrued in the last month, paid in the next month.
Yep.
That's part of it too. That's kind of what I was talking about.
Right.
But when you get that number right, then the number going to the general fund should be exactly right, and it's just cleaner. So I'm just asking questions on those numbers being off, but they never seem to self-correct by the next year, which sometimes they will self-correct, but I don't see any of these self-correcting. It's just estimates as opposed to invoices, I guess. But anyway, that helps a lot knowing sort of how that process works. Yeah. Okay.
Do you have a consistent contact in the comptroller's office that you work with?
We do, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it's not like there's been a changeover?
No, ma'am.
I'm just still trying to flesh out what would be going on.
There's been some change in his department. In fact, there's another new one this month. So there's been changes in his department, but not, he's been in that position for quite some time.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Senator Goodger. Thank you. Who is that person in the comptroller's office?
Randy Head.
Randy. And then this next question is from Ms. Thomas. Most of these other boards, and honestly, everyone we've gone through, you've said something about Open Meetings Act or posted minutes. Is there anything in this particular? Because I don't see it in here.
We didn't have any issues with this board.
Just wanted to make sure. Good job.
Thank you.
Representative Shedd. And then Representative Simpson.
The members of the, may you remember, but.
Good point, Representative Shedd. Representative Simpson.
Ms. Thomas, as we sit here today on July 18th, 2023, is it fair to say that all 9 members of this board are serving on expired terms now?
Sorry.
And we're working on that as well for reappointments.
Members, any other questions, concerns? Ms. Thomas, anything else to report?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the Board of Heating and Air Conditioning Refrigeration Contractors. Ms. Thomas,